Here's one habit that you can do to get you in the best shape of your life. It's logging. Keeping a log is the guaranteed success for you because you can track where you started, where you're going, and where you were all at the same time. So here are 4 areas that I recommend that all of you log, that my clients log, to get the best results. Number 1, I want you to log your food and your intake of drinks, whether that's water, a juice, alcohol, whatever that is. Logging your food and your drinks makes a difference. Number 2, I want you to log your sleep. When you know how much you've slept, you can determine how well you're recovering, and that can help you feel better from workouts. Number 3, I want you to log your exercise. When it comes to exercising or being active, if you don't know what you did, you can't tell if you're making progress or not. So log your exercise. And last but certainly not least, log your weight / body composition or body fat percentage. Now, it's not all about weight, but weight does make a difference in as far as letting you know what the trends are, where you've been, and also where you're going. Those are 4 areas. Now, to go into more detail, when it comes to food or drink, there's a lot of conversation that can be had about what to eat, what not to eat. The main thing right now that I want you to do is just create a habit of logging. So food specifically, you want to log your protein intake. And then when it comes to drink, you want to log your water intake. You also want to include everything that you consume. I love the application. This is almost going to sound like a commercial for the application for Chronometer. But Chronometer is an app that was introduced to me that not only can you put your food information in there, but you can actually see what the nutrient breakdown is of all your meals. And so based on that, you can tell how many vitamins you've had or how much you need, minerals, fats, different proteins. And that's really helpful when you're trying to not only lose weight, but you're trying to also improve your health, which is the most important thing. So I like to concentrate on protein intake. Here's why. You're going to eat fats, you're going to eat carbs, and I'm not here to begin a debate or continue the debate on what's the best macronutrient to eat. Here's what I know. If you do not consume enough protein, you're going to be limited in the benefits of said protein. So logging your protein, I recommend roughly 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. It's going to seem like a lot early on, which is just indicative of most people don't get enough protein. Number 2, when it comes to water intake, 0.7 ounces or 0.7 ounces per pound of body weight is like a baseline, and then add some if you're active and you're sweating. Same as protein, most people are underhydrated, and I found that by logging how much water you take in, it'll help you know kind of where you've been. If you've been having issues with symptoms of overtraining or what have you, you may be able to trace it back to dehydration or underhydration. When it comes to sleep, it is important to know how many hours you sleep, and most people will have some kind of tracking device, or they'll just look at a clock and say, okay, well, I slept 6, 7, 8, 9, so on hours. What I've been introduced to that's been wildly helpful is logging your bedtime. Hitting your bedtime goal consistently equals success. So whatever that bedtime is for you, give yourself obviously enough time. If you're trying to get however many hours, give yourself enough time, but be consistent with your bedtime. Logging this is very simple. Did I go to sleep when I said I was going to go to sleep, when I planned on going to sleep? If so, check mark, you're done. Next is exercise. Now, this can be very detail oriented, but essentially what you want to do is you want to have a record of what you've lifted or what you've ran, the distance, how far, how many reps, how many sets, rest periods, and of course the frequency. So if you're lifting multiple days a week, if you're running or doing yoga or doing some kind of cardio multiple days a week, you want to keep a log of that again so you can see a history of where you've been, and it can be indicative of where you're going. And then later on, you can look back at that and use that as information. So logging exercise, your training is extremely important. Last and certainly not least, logging your weight and your body fat percentage or your body composition. The reason why I recommend logging weight isn't to make you feel bad about yourself. However, it does bring an awareness, and that's very healthy. But what it does is it tells a story about all the things I just previously mentioned. So your weight, your body fat percentage, if you have access to that, will tell a story. In other words, it'll tell what the trend is. And what you do by logging your weight is you'll see a trend. You want to look for, is that number going down over time? Will there be ups? Yes. Will there be downs? Yes. Will there be a mixture of all of that? Absolutely. But we want to see if the trend line is going down. So what I recommend when it comes to logging weight is once a week, typically at the beginning of the day, whatever day of the week that is for you. But this gives you a history and a story. So those are my recommendations on things to log. Here's why. Okay, consistency leads to outcomes. Preferably, you want good outcomes. So if you're consistent in logging, you are going to get some kind of outcome. And if it's an outcome you want, you can look back and see, okay, well, these are all the steps that I took to achieve this goal. However, if you get an outcome that you do not want or that you don't like, you can also look back and see, okay, well, in this season, this is what I was consuming, this is what I was doing, this is how much I was resting, etc. And then you can make adjustments accordingly. You can identify why life is going your way or not going your way based on the information that you have. So here's what I'll ask you to do. If you want to test to see if this is as effective as I say it is, take the next 12 weeks and log your progress, log your food, your intake, your water, exercise, sleep, your hydration, and see what that comes out from. A couple of applications that I recommend. Chronometer for, you can put your food in there. You can also put in exercise. You can put in your sleep as well. And then of course your weight and your body fat percentage. That's really helpful. I use another application called Train Heroic, and that helps me log my exercises in detail where I can leave notes and stuff. That's what we use when we train together. If this is helpful for you, please leave me a like and feel free to subscribe for more videos. I love you. I hope this is helpful. Peace.